Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I'm going to be starting the Burning Baltics campaign on the Axis side. But wait! Today's video is sponsored by the Tank Encyclopedia. Ever wanted to learn more about tanks? You've probably ended up on their website at some point. And if you haven't already, then you should definitely take a look. It's a fantastic resource that I've personally used many times to find out information about specific tanks. I've even worked with them in the past to create an informative video about the TOG 300G. Video from the Tank Encyclopedia. That being said, this sponsor is about their awesome magazine. Packed full of information and interesting stories, this is the perfect magazine for those of you passionate about war vehicles. I expect many of you fit into this category, so make sure to check out their page, pick a magazine and show them your support. If you aren't convinced, here's an example. Issue 7 of the Tank Encyclopedia magazine has an epic 83 pages and features an awesome and in-depth article about the Tomoyo 1, a Brazilian tank. There is a ton to read, so if you're interested, make sure to check the link in the description and pick up a copy for yourselves. Use the code VulcanHDGaming to get 10% off. With that all said, let's get back to the video. So August 16th to 27th, 1944, when the Soviet First Baltic Front finally reaches the Gulf of Riga in Latvia by the end of July, it is a spent force and dangerously overextended. Having separated Army Group Centre and Army Group North, the Red Army turns to besiege Riga, presenting the Germans with an exposed flank and an opportunity too good to miss. Operation Doppelkopf foresees a powerful armoured counteroffensive breaking through the Soviet lines and re-establishing the vital link with the beleaguered Army Group North. On the right hand side here we have the campaign description, let's go ahead and read that. On August 16th, Operation Doppelkopf commences, with the 3rd Panzer Army's counteroffensive taking the Soviets by surprise. The first attack is on the western side of the 1st Baltic Front's salient that extends towards the Gulf of Riga. The concentrated armoured firepower of 2 Panzer Corps is unparalleled, but it is still slow going, with the Soviet troops putting up fierce resistance. While unprepared, by this time in the war, the Red Army knows how to react to a German armoured offensive. A strong anti-tank screen is deployed, while local commanders reorganise their forces in preparation for their own armoured counterattack. After only a few days, by August 19th, the German offensive seems to lose steam fast. However, the next day a breakthrough is made in an unexpected place. North, along the shores of the Gulf of Riga, the ad hoc armoured battle group Panzerverband Strachwitz manages to capture the critical crossroads of Tukums with fire support from the Kriegsmarine. In a feat of tactical ingenuity, several Soviet infantry battalions and the equivalent of a tank brigade are destroyed, with a substantial amount of equipment and stores falling into the hands of the Germans. The road to Riga had been opened. The battle group under Strachwitz's command doesn't lose any time. Racing along the coast, they reach the city an hour before the 21st of August, effectively linking Army Group Centre and Army Group North once again. Operation Doppelkopf turns out to be one of the last major victories of the Third Reich on the Eastern Front. We're going to be hoping to replicate that, of course. So the Soviet forces have the 2nd Guards Army, the 43rd Army, the 51st Army, and parts of the 5th Guards Tank Army. And then the Axis forces, they have the 3rd Panzer Army and part of the 16th Army. We're of course going to be switching over to the Axis side. We'll set it to hard difficulty and we'll be jumping on it.
In the wake of Operation Bagration and subsequent Soviet offenses, by August 1944, the German armies on the Eastern Front are shattered and pushed back hundreds of kilometers. In the Baltics, the Soviet First Baltic Front reaches the Gulf of Riga, cutting off the German Army Group North from Army Group Center. While a weary Red Army turns to besiege the Latvian capital, Riga, Army Group Center gathers its last remaining armored forces in an effort to reopen the crucial link with Army Group North. Codenamed Operation Doppelkopf, the strategic counterattack is launched on August 16th.
The objectives of the 3rd Panzer Army under your command are twofold. Reopen and hold the Cholet-Jelgava Highway. Then push to Riga to re-establish contact with Army Group North. Panzerverband Strachwitz, with 52nd Sicherheitsdivision in support, will advance from Courland. Quickly capturing the garrison at Tukums, a key logistical hub, would greatly hamper the Soviets' ability to hold their corridor to the Gulf of Riga. The beleaguered Army Group North is holding the line until relieved. They can provide only a few forces, the veteran 81st Infanterie Division and the 11th SS Division, Nordland. Intelligence reports indicate that the Soviet 5th Tank Army is completely worn out. However, with each passing day, the chance increases that this Red Army formation will successfully rally and oppose Operation Doppelkopf. Time is therefore of the utmost essence, Commander.
And here we are, in the campaign. So we do have, I believe, 3 objectives. The first of which is Jelgava, which is right here. We also have Tukums, which is up here. And then I also believe that we need to capture this one. So what we're going to do is, in this campaign, since obviously, it's going to be done a little bit different, is I'm going to basically just move my troops in each sort of sector of the campaign, and then I'll talk about what I've moved, and then we'll do any attacks that basically pop up or that I need to do. So we're going to start here in the top left. What I've done is I've just moved up all of these troops up the road here. We've moved one across the open towards the 1378th Rifle Regiment. I've also got one that's now facing down the 8th Guards Mechanized Brigade. This does actually have some MCHs, the M4s, so I am going to have to be kind of careful since we only have like the Lead Legionnaire here, which really aren't too good. We do have some 85 mils though, but we're going to want to wait on our Panthers before we really engage the 8th Guards Mechanized. But one thing we can do at the start here is probably attack the 1372nd Rifle Regiment. We do have the SS Armoured Recon Battalion Gruss here and the 1st SS Infantry Battalion that are in range to attack it from the start, so that's probably going to be our first move. I also should probably bring in some aircraft, so let's have a quick look at those. On the bottom side here we're going to be having the fighter wing. They have some Focke-Wulf 190s, which is pretty nice. Looks like some G8s, some A8s. There's also some A6s in there as well. And there's a close support wing, which comes with the Ju-87 D5s. There is the recon group, which comes with the Bf 109 G8s, and also some Focke-Wulf bombers. That's actually quite a nice recon group because these 2 Focke-Wulf bombers mean that they can actually be useful if you bring them in to reinforce. And otherwise it's more Focke-Wulfs and Ju-87s and even more Focke-Wulfs, so loads of Focke-Wulfs, that's great. Okay, I think it'd probably be best if we bring in the fighters because they're probably going to bring in some aircraft themselves at the start of the campaign here. So let's go ahead and select that unit. We'll bring in the SS Armoured Recon Battalion Gruss and the 1st SS. We're going to let the SS Armoured Recon Battalion Gruss be the first one so that they can continue moving on. And then these 2 can reinforce, plus the fighters, of course. So let's select the fighters. Tactical battle. And we shall jump on in. Here we are on the battle map. What I'm going to do is we're going to put down all of my forces, then I'll talk about what I've deployed, and then we'll carry on and see how it goes. Okay, so I have most of the troops now set up. And what we're going to do is basically just have Aufklärer in these 222s lead the charge, and they are all going to unload the Aufklärer, and then we're going to continue pushing with those 222s. The reason we unload the Aufklärer is so that the unit itself doesn't get destroyed. So if the 222 dies, technically it doesn't die on the campaign map. A little bit of an exploit, but it is what it is. We're of course not going to suicide our Aufklärer squads just to keep that going. So yeah. I do have the MG42 squad here on the left to kind of back us up as we approach this hill. Got a couple of Panzergrens on each of these lines. We've got a few of them here that are going to be pushing up in the middle, and I've got a bunch on the right that are going to also be pushing on that side. So let's go ahead and launch the battle. I'm going to actually bring in the recon Focke-Wulf at the start. We'll see what we can see. Might give us an idea of what we're up against. Nothing crazy so far. I am spotting quite a lot of these PTRS squads though, which are not really going to be very useful, or very good. They are going to be very good, sorry, against my SBW 222s. We're going to want to make sure these are unloaded as well, because the AT guns are starting to engage those. Looks like they did also just bring in a couple of SU2s, so we'll make sure to try and follow those and take them out. There's one taken down. Can we get the second? No, we can't. There's also an SU-2 in the middle. So it looks like we're up against like a recon unit, which isn't too bad, but the Afghanas, I'm sorry, the SU-2s, they do have reasonably decent like bombing strikes. I just don't know how many they get on a unit. I'm just going to push up here with the 222s. We'll engage the OB. Here it goes. Absolutely destroyed. Love it. Okay, let's do the same on the left hand side here. We'll start pushing with those 222s. I'm going to start pushing on that ZIS-2 as well. I can actually bring in these Wolves to strafe these. That would definitely be a good idea. We'll do the same here onto this ZIS-2. Getting rid of that will be very, very helpful. Meanwhile, let's bring up some more infantry. Looks like I can get some infantry quite far up here, so we'll bring in a decent blob that can push through the town and secure the hill for us. I'm going to move out of line of sight of that ZIS-2. We'll allow the Wolf to try and finish it off. Here comes more aircraft. Nice, good kill there from the AA. Oh, they got the bombing strike off, and the SU-2 just crashed straight into my Panzergrenz there. What just happened? That's crazy. Oh, it's not often you see that. It's like if I'm going down, I'm taking one with me. Nice. We're going to want to make sure we have some infantry in the middle here that can push up and take the ground for us. There's a lot of aircraft. The SU-2 is probably a goner. Nice, that Focke-Wulf managed to get the turn on the PE-2 there as well. Really big. Oh, and it crashed into another squad. It happened twice in one battle. What is going on? Let's see if we can get rid of this. Oh, this. I don't know why I keep calling them ZIS-2s. Su-2s, I guess technically they are, but SU-2. Get rid of that, please. Alright, let's get these unloaded. Start pushing across the middle. Making good progress here. On the right hand side, managed to get up onto this hill. Do need to take out the ZIS-2 very quickly though. 222 did go down on the hill. Like something probably came up here and shot it, so make sure to move up there ASAP. I have been pinned down on the left, but I do have two more Avkada on the way here in their 222s. Continue moving up on the right. So we've smashed the right side open, but I am losing 222s all over the place right now. We're going to want to bring up maybe like, let's see, we do actually have some Panzerwerfers, maybe we could bring them in, that'd be fun. The big issue we're having with our 222s right now is these 45 mils. What I could do is make sure to bring in some more Focke-Wulfs that can strafe them. I think that's actually probably the best shout. Anytime we see an AT gun, we just bring in a Focke-Wulf and strafe it. I guess that way as well, we also have Focke-Wulfs up in the sky. The Focke-Wulfs can both strafe the ground targets and they can also take out the AT guns for us. And the Afghala win against the PTRS though. Like a staring contest right now. Does the Afghala even have enough ammo? Kind of embarrassing if they don't. They're gonna go down anyway. Probably shouldn't have let them die because the 222 is very valuable. We do lose the 222 even if it hasn't technically died on the battlefield yet, because the squad itself is dead. But at the moment I'm currently looking for more units that I can bring in. I guess I could bring in like loads of Fusiliers. Just dot them across the map. And come give us a hand. Now I do want to get a major victory. Currently with 15 to 9 in flags, we're going to need I think 18 flags to get the victory, the major victory here. So that's what we're currently looking for. But yeah, got to keep taking out these 45mm AT guns, otherwise they're going to keep popping my SBW 222s. It doesn't really matter if the 222s die, but of course, they're good ongoing fire support for my infantry. Did lose that panzer gun though, that sucks. Let's keep these Fusiliers moving up now that they've arrived. The ones on the right, I might send a couple up this road. Like they're all heading towards the mid otherwise. We are now 18-6 in flags, which means that we will get a major victory if we win. I can try and go for a total victory. If we do get a total victory, it might destroy the unit that we're attacking, which would be really good. We'll get the 222s to push really aggressively in the center here. We'll have the Panzergrenz follow up. Those guys need to unload. And anywhere we see an AT gun, it's got to be strafed. We currently need one more flag. We are, like, well, we were 20-4. We're now 19-5 again. Did lose this flag in the center briefly because we're being direct fired, I think, by this 152. I'm also going to try and strafe this PTRS, although with all three firing at it, hopefully we'll take it out. We'll see. Actually, that was only two firing at it, but they did go down, so that's totally fine. I think the last flag that we want to get is probably this one. It's the only one that we're close to. So I'm just going to run towards it. We'll be ready with our Wolves to just strafe anything. There's only 14 seconds left. Doesn't look like we're going to get there, unfortunately. It would have been really nice to get a total victory, but we'd have to have already killed the things that are there now. No, not enough time. Oh well, that worked out pretty nicely. So that's going to be a major victory in 12 minutes and 56 seconds. 139 kills, 25 losses. A lot of those losses will be 222s, which I don't really mind, other than like the actual Avklar squads. Like when an Avklar dies, so does the 222. If the 222 dies without the Avklar squad dying, then we get to keep the 222, so that's good. So in the end, we lost 5 units of Panzergrenz, 1 MG, 3 Fusiliers, and 2 Avklar. So lost 2 222s as well. And they lost what looks like all of the aircraft maybe in that recon group, which is really good. And we also killed off a lot of those AT pieces. Yeah, I mean, that worked out pretty well. We should disorganize pretty much all of those units. Actually, I didn't disorganize 1,376, maybe because they hadn't joined the battle yet. If it didn't get to phase C, then that would be why, which I don't think it did. So, yeah, basically just these two are disorganized. Next turn, we can probably destroy them if we attack again. So, I'm going to take the opportunity to move up here a little bit. I'll move up like so. Going to blob these up. If they're next to each other and they get attacked, then the unit that's adjacent will be able to reinforce in phase A, even if it doesn't have any action points. So that's kind of what I'm taking advantage of there. Let's now have a look at the bottom side of the map. So on this front, what I've done is I've just moved up all of my units right next to this 105th Rifle Regiment because it's on the road. So if I can destroy the one that's on the road, that's going to open up this salient for us to head towards Jelgava nice and quickly. So that's the plan here. I'm going to try and bypass these units below. I could also try and encircle them eventually, but for now we've just kind of bunched up in front of the 105th. Group Herzog could also get attacked, but they're pretty good. They've got all of their Panzer IVs. They've also got these STKFZ 251-9s and so on. I moved up the artillery, so it's going to be in range next turn. And I've also put up the AA so that they can't bring in their own aircraft to this battle. Let's now moving on to this southern side. So on the southern side, I've set it up in a way that I'm basically right next to the 85th Guards Rifle Regiment and the 82nd Guards Rifle Regiment. This way, next time around, next turn, we're going to be able to engage them before they dig in. Because if they dig in, we've got to deal with the bunkers. It's going to be annoying. Whereas if I'm right next to them this turn and they start digging in, then next turn I'm going to be able to hit them before they have bunkers. It's going to be really good. I've also created this little square down here where if any of these units get attacked, basically every other unit there is going to be able to reinforce in phase A. So that's totally fine. And yeah, we're in a really, really good position down here. Now I'm going to be taking a look at the Army Group North and sorting out this front. On this bottom side, what I ended up deciding to do was actually fall back from the positions that they gave us here, because a lot of the units that were on the front that were dug in they were outnumbered. So I could have tried to move other units forwards to reinforce them, but it's probably much easier if I kind of tighten the line here. So we kind of move up with a diagonal line, and then I just leave units like this that can reinforce one another. That way we're going to be a lot stronger, and if these start moving up, we can just dig them in one by one and create that diagonal defensive line here. And eventually we'll have enough troops that can defend that line without being isolated on their own. At the moment we're a bit stretched thin, so it'd be better to tighten up that defense quite a bit, and I could start bringing over some of these units, for example, to help us out. So that's what we're going to do. So I did the remainder of my movements here. What we ended up doing was just moving everything up to this bridge. I think eventually I'll probably try and make an attack over here. I just needed more units in position, because at the moment there's only 2 units in phase A that can push across there, whereas next turn I'll probably be able to use the 193rd Fusilier Battalion as well, and also maybe the 193rd Tank Destroyer Battalion. So that would give us 4 units in phase A, and then potentially if we get rid of this AA, for example, down here in the next turn, we'll be able to bring in aircraft, and that will make that a lot easier, especially to get like through all of these bunkers that they have, which is a lot, because they have 3 units dug in there. But either way, on the top, just moving up Corps Kleffel, and yeah, moved a few more units down towards our southern flank. Alright, with everything done, let's move on to the next turn, see if we get attacked anywhere. Alright, so we managed to get through our turn without them really moving too much. Basically, they clumped up down here a bit more. They actually did bring in some reinforcements here that they might try and use to encircle us, but we can bring in reinforcements on these markers. I also have a good chance to push into the 63rd Rifle Corps. This is going to be a great battle because they have the Su-85s, they've also got the KV-85s, and they've got the Su-76s, whilst we've got an absolute ton of Panthers, so that's going to be great fun. On the top side, they left their units abandoned, so we're going to be able to destroy these quite easily. Let's go ahead and destroy that one. We're also going to be able to destroy this one. And it looks like their aircraft got caught by my AA. That's nice. Now we can just move up the road. I could probably bypass the 2nd Battalion of the 151st Guards Howitzer Artillery and just go straight to Tukums. If we can cap that early, that'd be great. Let me just turn down the speed so it doesn't get my unit surrounded. We'll see if we can make this work. Not quite. Okay. What we'll do then is I'm going to have I think the 1st SS chill here. And then we're going to have these 2 follow down towards Tukums. Great. That's going to pretty much keep our salient open up here. And next turn, we're going to be able to take that flag. Then we're going to be able to bring in some reinforcements. I actually haven't gone through the reinforcements yet, so let's do that. We do have, for the 39th Panzer Corps that can come in on the left-hand side here, there's going to be the Panzergruppe, which is an armoured recon battalion, the Panzer IVs and Stug 4s, and then there's also a mechanised Panzergren unit, which is nice. And then there's another mechanised unit, which is just coming in trucks. Another Panzergren. And then we got the Jagdpanzers there, and there's also an artillery unit with that. For the 40th Panzer Corps, they can come in on the bottom side. Currently we can bring in even more tanks, more Stugs. There's also more Tigers available. We have in the first one the HQ unit, just some Stabswache, Erkundungs, and the Aufklärer Panzer 4J. After that, just got some reserve troops. I think the same for both of those. Yeah, just like Panzer Corps Reserve. Although that's more assault gun brigades, so that's not too bad. What about these ones? That does have a tank destroyer battalion with more Jagdpanzers. We get tons of armour. There's also the Hetzers there as well, which is cool. In the 52nd Sitterungs, they cannot come until the 18th in the morning, which is like 4 turns from now. That's the 52nd Security Division with Battle Group Burger And then the 603rd Security Division, which has loads of Sitrungs. And there's also the Panzer Battalion that comes with them, which is a lot of Panther A's and the Panzergrens here. For Hemmengöring Nordland, we have the SS Nordland Division. We've got the 11th SS, which comes with the Panther D in there. We've got a pretty mean looking 23rd SS Panzergren Regiment with the Panzergrens with MG26s, and then 8 of these like MG42s with 2-star veterancy. Each of these has like FKs as well. They've got more pretty strong units there, and then the reserve units behind. And then we have the Luftwaffe. We get one more unit, the only reinforcement we get for the Luftwaffe, which gives us another recon unit. The Night Bomber Wing, which has the Ju-88s and the Do-217s. And there's also the 2nd Close Support Wing. Oh. Alright. Well, I'm going to leave it there for today. Next time around, what we'll do is we'll push into these fronts on the left. I will see about probably making an attack down here into the 63rd Rifle Corps. Should be a good one. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.